Good morning, Sellers Sessions. I am Izabela Hamilton, CEO and founder of Rankbell, and I have the pleasure to have with me today the youngest entrepreneur I've had live on this podcast ever. Welcome, Mr. Hayden Hart, also known
Thank you.
as Cash, just Cash. That's you, right?
Yes, Bella. Thank you for having me on your podcast. It's pretty great to be in front of an audience this big, and I'm just blessed to be here.
You are so sweet. Have you ever done a podcast before?
No, ma'am.
This is your first.
Yeah.
I am so excited that you are entering the podcast world with me. So thank you for being with us today. I was just talking to Cash before we went online. How I met his dad, and his name is Sharon, and just really left a really good impression on me. I meet, as you can imagine, hundreds of people, but your dad was just something else. Like his brilliance, his wit, he's funny. And then we started talking, and he told me he has a son who's absolutely a genius. And here we are a few days later, and it just happened that it worked out time wise, that somebody canceled, and you were so ready to jump in. So I'm so happy to be here with you.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. I can already tell. You guys at home are gonna have a great time. You're gonna learn a lot, and you're just gonna have. We're gonna have fun, all of us.
So would you call yourself an entrepreneur?
Yes, ma'am. 100%.
When did you know you were an entrepreneur?
9 months ago, fully. I knew I was gonna do it for the rest of my life.
9 months ago. What changed? Like, what made you do that?
I have no idea. I was just sitting down playing video games, like, normal 13-year-olds at the time. And then I turned 14, and I just wanted to make money, I guess. I just wanted to
Okay.
make a little bit of money.
You,
So then I realized that I had to start working because I looked around and I was like living really comfortably because of my dad. And so I started working, and I just fell in love with it. I mean, it's just like a game. Every time I like go to sell somebody or talk to somebody or meet new contacts, it's just like a game. You just level up. I don't know. It's pretty fun though.
so what was like your first gig?
Oh, you mean the first one, the one that
First one, your very
uh
first one that you got the taste of the money.
well, I was 11 and we were living in Apollo Beach, Florida, and on my Instagram I could show you a picture, but I had this ice cream cart that I'd like pedal to the beach because we lived a mile away from the beach, and it had a cooler in the front. And we bought all these fancy, the SpongeBob popsicles and all the bomb pops and whatever. We bought all those. I went out and sold. I did like $60 in like 2 hours the first day, and I was all excited. And I got back home and I forgot to charge it, so the ice cream cooler died, and all my inventory was just toast because it was like the expensive kind. And I didn't have any money to replace it. So I stopped for like a week or two, and I like was at Dollar General, I think, and I found, there's like 20-pack popsicles for $2, right?
Right.
So I was like, maybe I could sell them. And so I talked to my dad about it. He seemed like a good idea. So I went out and bought 40 popsicles, and I bought the packs for $2. Got 20 popsicles out of them. I sold one popsicle for $3, and it was going like crazy. So that was when I got a first taste of it. But back then I didn't save anything. I just spent it on stuff for video games. But
So
that
your
was my
dad,
first
your
taste.
dad invested in your first business, is what you're saying, because your inventory got melted, and then he invested. Or did you give him some percentage on the winnings, or what?
No, he invested originally, but
Okay.
after the inventory fell, just melted. Then he did. I wasn't gonna ask him for any more because that's kind of. But I just found the stuff at Dollar General, and it was cheap enough for me to buy it, so it seemed like a good deal.
So you said you just started spending it on whatever things that you needed, but I assume you already had an allowance, or what made you really go after that money? Like you could ask your dad, right? For money.
Yeah, I could, but I just wanted to work for it a little bit back
Okay.
then. It wasn't nothing like 9 months ago. 9 months ago, you couldn't stop me from thinking about business.
Really? So you had the first taste of the money, and you're like, okay, I can make money on my own. Was there like a reason for why that was? You just wanted to feel like you're building things yourself? Like, what was the inspiration and the drive in making your own money?
at age 11 or
Yes,
when I
at
turned
age
14?
11. Yeah.
Well, then I was just trying to impress my dad really and get money, but that's it. But it's I don't know. I just wanted to impress him and impress my brother, learn to make stuff, make money.
Okay. And does your dad support your entrepreneurial activities?
Oh, just more than you can even think of.
So do you just go to him with ideas and you pitch them, you pitch him ideas and he takes some and he leaves some, or how does that work?
Well, now I've learned because I've used to just like glance over something and show him, and it might have been a bad idea and I wouldn't even know it. But now I've learned to come really prepared with every detail and really think about how I could do it by myself and not rely on him because he's building his own thing right now. So I've learned to like be really detailed about it. But yeah, if I see a good like something I could flip or a good business opportunity, I would go to him and he'd really tell me like, he'd lay it out for me and tell me why it's not good, why it's good, and the pros and cons about it. So it's pretty cool.
What do you think? What do you think the hardest thing that you had to adjust to, going from like childhood activities to being an entrepreneur? Like, what's something that you had to give up?
Mm. Free time, really. Because what really started it was when I was like 13. I switched over to 14, and I just had like something ticked in my brain. I wanted to just go hit the ground running. So that week, later that month, we sourced a product in Mexico, and we drove down there, picked it up. He invested $2,000 in it, and I had to pay him back in 30 days. So I was a little bit nervous because I didn't want to let him down. So every day after that, I would go from school. Then after school, I'd work for 5 hours every day, and then go back to sleep, go to school, work for 5 hours, go back. Just for the first like couple weeks, I did that because I didn't want to disappoint him, and it paid off like and crazily because I still remember I owed him $2,000, and in 2 weeks I had $2,000 cash in my hands, paid him back, and it just felt so good. Ever since then, I've just been crazy about it.
I love this so much. So, what was the product for Mexico?
Well, first of all, we were going there because my dad has a buddy that sold metal birdhouses, and people liked them. So we were going down there to buy $2,000 worth of metal birdhouses. And on the way there, my buddy's friend Steve, which is now he's a business partner of mine and him, he told us about these metal chickens that his friend was selling in Indiana, and he said he was doing really great with them. So we had a choice to make. Do we stick with the original plan, or do we diversify and go into chickens and birdhouses? And we decided to do chickens, and we got like I think 30 chickens, and they
Okay.
sold like fast. So that's what we knew we had to
Well,
stick with.
what made you go into that niche? That's such a unique thing to buy and to sell. What grabbed your attention? What was it about this product?
It was really because my grandpa, he always tells me that flash is cash, and the thing that we were selling there, birdhouses and chickens, just they're bright and colorful. There's many pictures that it's just like on the side of the road. You can't you can't not like be interested and look over the side because it's vibrant and it's amazing.
Vibrant and amazing. I love how you describe your product. So, where did you start selling them?
I
Was it
started selling them. I think a quarter. I had to drive my tractor and my 4-wheeler down there because me and my dad discussed that I wanted my business to be like me, and I didn't have to rely on him. So I drove the tractor that we have down here like a half a mile something to like some corner on the highway, and it was just not on the highway, but on a road that was busy, and I just set up there every day after school, and it paid off.
so you just set a shop right on the street. You didn't have to pay any rent anywhere for an
Nope.
office. You just sat there and how long did it take you to sell your first inventory?
First inventory. Well, I was never out of inventory because my dad taught me that, like, why slow down the sales machine? So we always, every time I was even with him, we bought another load, and another load, and another load, and I just kept on growing it. And it was, so I never ran out of inventory. It was always selling. But
This
it took, I
you
think,
learned
2 weeks.
the ice cream. You learned from the ice cream fiasco to not let your inventory go to waste and not running out of inventory. So I assume that's a very good lesson for you, right?
Yes.
I love that. So what did you transition into after the chickens?
Well, the chickens, we were selling them for like probably 8 months, or I was, and it was getting Christmas time, and everyone knows Christmas time is like the prime time to buy stuff. But my dad told me after Christmas time, these chickens aren't going to be worth anything. So I was just selling them every day. You know, sales were slowing down because I'm in a small town and people already seen it. You know, so if they
Hmm.
don't want to buy it, they're not going to buy it. So people have already seen it, right? Sales are slowing down, but I'm still going every day. And what really changed it was I had to pick. I had to help my brother because he paid like a contractor to help him with his dirt bike track. And it was like the last day I could sell before Christmas, or I can go out and sell. And I decided to help my brother. But me and my dad thought of something. We could just, since I'm like not going to sell anyways, and these chickens are going to be worthless, we could put the chickens on the trailer and just say like call us and pay for them, and then you just take them whenever you want because we wired them to the trailer. So we did that. I think it was my best day on that corner. That corner, I did $570 just answering the phone, and that was amazing. That was pretty cool. And then we transitioned from that. We picked out the best product that I've
Wait,
ever
hold
like
on,
sold.
pause. So that's when you discovered online e-commerce.
Yeah,
That's amazing. And you're like, oh my God, I can do so much better by selling to a lot more people than just waiting for somebody to drive by me, right?
yeah. Like my dad told me the other day, he said there's a difference between being self-employed and being a business owner.
Okay.
Being self-employed, you don't have a boss. You work, you get paid, but you have to work every day and do the itty-gritty stuff, you know? And that's what I was doing. But now, I'll explain to you later. Now I'm a business owner with so we transitioned from selling chickens. We picked the best product I've ever sold. It was these flat, like 6 or 8 foot Bigfoots. They could just stack like cards on the pallet, right? And we paid like $20 for them, sold them for like 160, and it was a really good deal. So I had to go in business with that, and I was thinking that we could just put them up on a trailer and weld the little pipes. So we could drop them into the trailer, and it'd just be like that chicken day where I did 570 just answering the phone. But I realized I didn't have enough money to do it. So and I didn't want to ask my dad. I wanted this one to be mine, you know.
Right.
So Steve, the person who called us about the chickens and told us they were good, it's funny because he has his nephew has a car lot down there, and I went down there. Me and Dad had a good idea of going down there, and I had like one day, or no, sorry, I had like 6 days to flip a car, but I was gonna put like 2/3 of my money, which is $2,000 that I just worked for, all into that. So I bought a $2,000 box truck. I went to go flip it, and I was nervous because that was my money. That was my money that I just worked for months, you know. And I was just nervous, but I sold it, and she just took that down. But it's the my first check for $3,400.
Oh my God, that's a nice check.
Oh yeah,
That
but
is beautiful.
so now with that money, I was able to go into business. But then my dad, obviously, he wanted to be bigger and bigger. So I pitched my grandpa on the idea of going 50-50. We both put in $4,000, and he was all in for it. So next day, or like a week from then, he drove down to Mexico, bought $8,000 worth of Bigfoots. And while he was doing that, I had to buy trailers. So I bought like 3 trailers, I bought 2 trailers to begin with. So I was in debt with my dad again, but it was going to be worth it. You know, I was really pumped up about this idea. And we got him out on the trailers, and we got back. We loaded everything up. We set the trailers out. And we had like 3 trailers out to begin with, and it was just amazing. The phone was ringing in school and everything. Like probably 20 times a day, people were calling me, and I was just selling and selling and selling and selling it. I learned that like, why would I go out on the street and sit there patiently waiting for someone to stop when I could just hang out with my family, answer the phones, do the best parts, which is selling them, my favorite part, collect the money, and just move on. I mean, it was amazing. So
Can you walk me through? Can you do a pitch for me? Let's say I just called in right now. Hey, Cash, I'm really interested in your Bigfoot. But I don't have enough money to pay your full price. What can you do for me?
well, usually what we do with that situation is we would tell them we're not lying, we're just stretching the truth. tell them that they're on sale already, and that we can lock in a price if they put a deposit down right there. We tell them we anchor the price. They're usually $200 for a large Bigfoot. For $129 this weekend only. It actually ends tonight at 8. So if you want, we could lock in like a $30 deposit, and it'll keep that price, so you could save that sale price. So when you get enough money, just pay us up or pay us.
And do people come back and ask for their money back, like if they change their mind later, or once they put the deposit, they're done?
It hasn't happened yet. Well, people do deposits, and they never ask for their money back, because people down here, it's just like an impulse buy. I don't know why people like to put them next to their backyard or near the woods, like to scare people. I always mention those stories because, connect with them,
Okay.
and build rapport, and act like you're a friend. Just ask questions, ask what they're getting it for, and I just love doing that. It's pretty fun.
How did you learn sales?
The 4 or 5 months I was sitting on the corner every day for 5 hours, because at the beginning, I wasn't nervous, because I don't know, I'm just not really nervous walking up to strangers, talking to them. But at the beginning, I'd like sit there and wait, and I'd have this whole pitch planned out. And as soon as like 2 hours went by and someone stopped by, that just went right out the window, because I was just excited. I just wanted to sell them, and I dropped the price all this time, and it was just like terrible. I was selling them, but it wasn't like actually me selling them on the product. It was really the price, me going down on the price. And then my dad, eventually I learned to stop doing that, and I was doing better. And then my dad told me about anchoring the price. And at that point I was like, I had some money.
Tell us what is.
What did you say?
What is that, anchoring the price? What do you mean?
Like what I would do is, since I didn't have any bills to pay, I was just thought it was a game at that point. So I'd anchor the price, tell them like, hey, we usually sell these things like hotcakes for like $174. These big 6-foot Bigfoots, or not Bigfoots, chickens at the time. We should sell these things like hotcakes, but today it's just going slow. So I guess if you really want it, I can give it to you for, X amount of price. But you got to anchor it high. So make it like, oh, wait, I'm already getting this, and I didn't even have to negotiate. He's giving me a heck of a deal.
Are you reading any books on sales?
Oh, move my head. All that.
All of that? What's your favorite?
My favorite, it wasn't really about sales. Well, yeah, it was. My favorite was, I think it would have to be Private Label Millionaire Secrets by Sharon Hart.
No. Is somebody paying you to say that?
No, it's amazing though. It's pretty good. It's full of great knowledge. Some stuff just flies over my head because it's just so intelligent.
That's beautiful. I love that. I love that you're taking inspiration from your family and you have your own business going. So how do you respond to a no? And does that bother you if people just say no, I'm not interested?
That's a good question, because at the beginning, when people said, at the beginning I had like a huge spike because it was something new. People just started buying. But after the first 2 weeks, it just slowed down dramatically. And I was like really sad. I was like, what did I do? Am I doing something wrong? Because people weren't stopping. And I learned that there's every 1 second, sorry. Every no brings you closer to the sound of yes. I think that's how it goes.
Very cool. So every time somebody says no, you just perfect your sales pitch and you try it next.
Plus, and plus you learn that not everybody's gonna say no. But if I had fun in the pitch and if I feel like I did good, I'm not gonna feel bad about it, because it's just the wrong thing for them, I guess.
Do they ever ask you how old you are? I mean, you are super young.
Yeah, they all the time. People think I'm like 17 or 18 because I'm 6'4", 270, but when I tell them my age, they're like, "Whoa!" Yeah. Sometimes I play off my age in the phone calls, so people
does that help with the sales?
Yeah, a little bit.
So, so you're still selling Bigfoot right now, right?
Yeah, I'm selling it as we speak.
What's your inventory like these days? Because now I assume you have more cash. You can buy more. And what are you sitting at right now? And how do you know when to reorder?
Oh, well, the Bigfoots originally we bought. I think the stock's been the same. We just keep on reordering. in my dad's book, he even mentions that in the eye heater story, just there's not enough inventory. If you don't have any inventory, that's not a good enough reason to stop the sales machine. So why would you run low on inventory? So I keep on buying more. But originally, or I got to know, like I learned from the chicken business that sales were slowing down. If I kept with the chicken business, I would be stuck with chickens, like my grandpa is with his stuff that he's selling. We told him many times that it's just done. It's like that. It's outdated. You got to stop buying it. And then he bought another load. And now he's stuck with $4,000 worth of inventory. So you got to know when to stop and switch. And you always have to, adapt and change.
So chickens ran out of fashion. They're no, or you just sold the whole town. Everybody has a chicken, and now so now you're selling Bigfoot. How long are you planning to be in this specific niche?
Well, until sales slow down. I mean, I don't see a reason we should stop because it's just great. I love it.
Now you're selling all over US. I assume it's not just where you live anymore because you're
right now it's right now we're planning on going, way just expanding. But right now, I have my grandpa moving like 7 trailers at a time, just moving them like an hour away, 2 hours. Because now I have a business partner that has a license. That's what I really wanted. I needed a business partner that has a license and a car. So now he could just move the trailers wherever we want and get fresh new action whenever we want. It's amazing. That's what I like about it.
Do you still do like the pop-up sales here and there? You don't just do everything online. Do you still love selling like on the street, or what's your business consist of now?
Well, the problem with that was I'm not a patient person at all. But so I had to sit there. It kind of made me a little more patient because I had to sit there for hours and wait for people, But even the other day, I was helping my brother. My brother's starting to get into business. He was selling aerial photography. He'd take pictures with drones, edit them like of the houses, and he couldn't sell them, So I went in there. I was like, puff my chest out. I'll sell one. Give me one. I'm gonna sell one. So I went over there to his house, the guy's house, and I sold him. Right? It was just like I'm making like hundreds of dollars a day with these Bigfoots, and it wasn't like I just sold it for him. I didn't make any money off of it.
How did you do that? Like, how did you do that differently? Or you still applied what you know from sales? You just moved it to a different, like, walk me through the pitch. What did you say to them that made them actually right?
I first started out with a compliment. I loved your house, man. It's amazing. I noticed that you have that pool in the backyard. We used to have a pool at our old house. We used to have, just build rapport, talk to him for like a couple minutes, just make friends, basically. And after that, I'd anchor the price, be like, yeah, but sales are going down because the grass is getting a little dead, and people don't think their houses are that, pretty. I'd sell it to them, or I'd offer them a price, and then upsell them with a frame, like to go that surround the picture. And it just works. I don't know. It's just pretty cool. I like it.
Work. You made the sale.
What'd you say?
Well, you made the sale.
Yes, and that's another thing. After I made the sale, I didn't care about the money. I didn't make any money off of it. I was just riding home on my 4-wheeler after it, and it was just like the best feeling in the world. It's amazing when you sell someone face to face and you collect the money. It's not even about the money anymore at this point. It's just about like, I closed that person. That was me, fully me. I just closed him. It was amazing. I love that feeling.
Do your friends your age ever ask you to teach them how to sell as well? Are you having a big influence on your friends?
Well, that's many people, they look at it, they look at me making money, and they're like, I could do it. I mean, I can answer a phone and give people a price. And they think about it, and I tell them I tell them first, like before I tell them any of my secrets, I tell them, hey, this is not like an answer the phone call thing. This is like you're going to have to put work in, and that usually scares them off unless they're serious about it, which I haven't had anyone that's actually serious about learning how to do it yet. But
do they think you're just, they don't understand why you're wasting so much time?
They think that, well, it's really weird because my mom had some friends in high school, and she's always confused why I don't hang out with people on the weekends and how I don't hang out with people at school. She's like, do you have any friends? I'm like, yeah, I have a lot of friends at school, but I'd rather do more productive things outside of school because high school only lasts for 4 years. That's not, I'm trying to set myself up for the future.
That's amazing. So, what is your income right now, would you say, monthly from all the sales?
I have no idea monthly, but like a couple $100 a day, probably two, three, $400 a day steadily.
Steady. Okay. So, what do you do with all this money?
Right now, it's going back into the business. A couple of it, or I don't spend any of it, not a dime. I don't spend nothing of it, but it's some of it's sitting right there in my safe, and some of it, most of it's just going back into the business, buying trailers, scaling it, and I love that. I'm never gonna spend money. I mean, obviously, but until I feel like I have enough to spend and I'm successful enough, I'm not gonna. It's just gonna be safe in my safe right there.
What's successful enough? What's your number? Like, what do you want to achieve?
Well, my number's pretty crazy, but I think
Tell me.
I think well, this is like a short term goal. Out of high school, I want to have at least bottom dollar, like $100,000 in the bank, cash, liquid cash. That's mine. No tax, like after taxes, that's mine. But in the future goals, like I definitely want to be a billionaire. I say that like it's casual, but I really want to. I want to buy my dad the Colts, or a part of him, the Indianapolis Colts, because he absolutely loves them and he helps me out every day. Every day. Like it's just crazy. He's just, I don't know. He helps me out a lot. So I want to do something big for him. But my main goal is just shoot for the stars. That's what my goal is. Become
Do
a
do
millionaire
you
or
believe,
billionaire.
and you believe you can be a billionaire?
100%. If I just keep what I'm doing and scale it and learn, and keep on learning, and don't stop reading these books right there, because these books are just helping me out a lot. I'm learning a lot every day. I'm always expanding my mind. And once you stop expanding your mind, you're going to hit a roadblock. So that's what my dad said. It just happened to his brother and his sister and his dad, but he's always reading books. I'm always reading books. I just want to keep on expanding. And if I learn and keep on having this, like working as much as I do right now, I have no doubt I'm going to be a billionaire one day.
What
No
do you
doubt.
think? What do you think is the makeup of a billionaire? Like, why aren't more billionaires out there?
Well, it's definitely hard because there's a lot of people competing for it, but I think you had to be born with something. It's not like it's not something you can learn, I don't think.
And why a billionaire? I mean, you could probably have 50 million, 100 million, and you would live very, very well in your future family. Why a billionaire?
Well, I just uh I don't know. I definitely just want to be successful, really successful. I know that 50 million, just stuff like that. That's, I'm going to get there. And it's a big goal. It's huge for most people. I just want to swing for as high as I can swing for.
That is incredible. I mean, I'm asking you because that is one of my goals, and I don't usually meet people who say that because it is a big number and big pressure. But I mean, I definitely see you doing it. I don't know any 14-year-olds as dedicated as you as making money, and to me, that's really, really, really beautiful. Are you thinking you're going to go to college after high school?
That's a question. That's a question for sure. My dad really wants me to. I'm not really obsessed with it, but I think I'm going to do it because he's told me his regrets that he's had, and one of them was not going to college because he could have made contacts way faster. It's not really, he said it's not really about, well, I mean, you're going to learn skills if you take the right classes like marketing and computers, some stuff like that, but you're going to learn that. But it's more, to me, if I go to college, which I probably will, it's more about making contacts in the future, like making contacts, like friends and stuff like that I can use in the future. Like one of the major contacts that I made right now, and I'm proud to say it. I got a guy that's like really impressed with me, like you are, but he's local, and he is like a money manager or something. He manages $250 million of other people's money, and he's basically he's an investor too, but he's really obsessed with me. I've had dinner with him. I went to his house. We've hung out, and he's ready for me to build something great when I'm of age.
Okay. Are you thinking of maybe sharing the knowledge that you have with other kids your age? Like as far as you giving back to others, what are you planning with that?
Well, I'm definitely going to give back to others when I'm highly successful. I'm going to give back to others a lot because I just feel like that's what God put me here to do.
Do you feel like
Give
it's
back.
better to give money or to give knowledge?
Well, if you give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. If you teach a man to fish, he'll eat for a lifetime. For a lifetime. So I feel like I want to give knowledge, and I think a little bit of money to start off. I just want my kids to be like how me and my dad are, and my grandpa and his dad was, just go getters and ready to shoot for the stars.
So you're going to be a little angel investor in other kids' businesses. I mean, that's not a bad business in itself.
Yeah. Well, what I'm really hoping for, I have a lot of stuff, like a 59-seat passenger bus that I'm flipping right now, a concession trailer. I just flipped a truck for $6,000 a couple of days ago. And I got all this stuff, but I think like in a year or two, when I'm fully like out of the business, the Sasquatch business, I sell all my trailers, my inventory, the buses and the concession trailers and stuff like that. I want to have enough money to start like a real online business with monthly recurring revenue. I have no idea what it's going to be yet, but I know that I want to shoot for that because
Does
there's
does anything come to your mind right now? Like if you were to not sell what you're selling right now, like what would be a product that you would sell like on Amazon, let's say?
I definitely want to sell a service in the future, but that I probably need more experience for that because I'm only 14. But I want to sell a service in the future because service is just fairy dust. I mean, it might be valuable fairy dust, but it's just if you make a couple of videos to explain people how to do stuff, you don't. It doesn't cost any more money to share those videos with people. I just want to sell services or monthly,
So
like
you
my
want
dad is right now.
passive income. So
Yes.
you want to create a course.
Yeah, like stuff like that. But I also want to help actually sell physical products too, and help like the angel investing. That'd be good because I can like interact with all these businesses because my mind's always changing. Like I'm always interested in different stuff. Like every week, I'm interested in a different thing. But yeah, that would be good for me. And I love entrepreneurship because like in business, because you could just change. Whenever I feel like I'm bored of Sasquatches, I'm gonna sell all my trailers and go into something that I like. It's amazing, and it's still business related, and you still make money.
That is incredible. Have you had any other um motivation in your life beside your dad? Because I assume your dad is the one that's coaching you throughout your entrepreneur journey. You say your grandpa as well?
Yes, my grandpa, he's been a carny all his life. He owned a real insurance agency that was making a lot of money, but he's just he's just like I said but earlier, like when you don't expand your mind constantly, you hit a roadblock. And that's where he's at. He's been at that for a couple of years. But
It's
his insurance agency is just it went downhill. But he always helps, and he's always been selling for he's been selling on the street for 25 years. He loves it because he doesn't have a boss. That's his big thing. He doesn't want to have a boss or a schedule.
and you like that. Do you could you ever have a boss? Do you think you'll ever be employed?
Oh my, school is hard enough. People like the teachers. I learn differently, and I go at my own pace. But when someone is like right there telling me, "Hey, do this, this," I get pretty annoyed. It's
Okay.
kind of annoying.
What are some subjects that you are interested in school, and what are some that you think they're just a waste of time?
Okay, math after the 8th grade is a waste of time. I don't think you need to learn the alphabet in math. I mean, my dad never uses it. I never used it yet, like in real life. So math, definitely. But you need to learn it up to the 8th grade because that's when you learn all the stuff that you actually will use. English is good because it tells you how to, what is it called? Like,
Improve your
yeah, grammar and how to write stuff and storytelling. And I like that. That's pretty good. History is just interesting. Science is I struggle in that, but it's kind of interesting. But I just don't like math at all after 8th grade. It's weird.
Do you take any other extra classes on your own, marketing, sales, anything like that, or this is all through experience grinding every day?
Well, in school they do offer marketing, and I went to go sign up, and they didn't accept me, which is bad on them because I would have taught them something.
Exactly. I
but
agree.
no, I don't take. It's just all from experience and watching my dad and learning what he does. It's just he's really helped out a lot. But also some motivation is that I've seen other people like my Uncle Shane and all these teachers that I see, they always have to come to work and they're always in a bad mood. They're always complaining about something about their job. I don't want to live like that. I don't think I'm ever going to live like that.
You're not
Hopefully
about
not.
that life. You're not about that stress life.
No.
So what do you think? So you're not you're thinking of going to college. What would be something that would be amazing for you to study?
Well, I think I want to study more in like marketing and advertising and stuff like that. And I want my brother to study the exact opposite on how to build stuff and websites and all this other stuff. Because I know how to build funnels, but I want him to be like my right hand man, and I want it to be his.
So
We can build something
you
great.
want to partner with your brother. You think this is a family business going forward.
Hopefully, I want to take him up with me, and I want our family to just skyrocket up. Me and him are gonna change the world. Hopefully,
Is he younger than you or older?
he's 13, yeah, but he's like down here when we're standing up. He's real short.
And he doesn't have like the entrepreneur.
He doesn't really have the fire that me and my grandpa have, or me and my dad and my grandpa, but he does take after my dad in some way. I'm not that like really intelligent, but my brother, I'm just like doing a lot, which makes me like kind of look smart. But my brother, if he stopped playing video games and he did what I did, I guarantee he would be just, oh my, he would be a genius. Like he is really intelligent.
And you can convince him to do that? He's still
Not yet. Not yet. Well, right now, I'm trying to push him because he kind of got discouraged about the whole aerial photography thing until I sold that thing for him and he got all excited again. You know how that feeling is. You get excited about a business and then you find something wrong with it and stuff like that. But I'm trying to push him on like making money. So just yesterday, my grandpa has this handicap van that he bought to sell, but it was just sitting in his yard. So I told Moses, I was like, hey, I'm going to talk to your grandpa. You're going to get a third of the profit. I just need you to go flip it, make it look nice, scrub the inside, outside, everything, list it on Marketplace, and you'll get a third of the profit. And he worked on that all day yesterday. So I think he's slowly getting there. But I don't want to push him over the edge to make him feel like he has to do that or he has to do anything. But he's getting excited about it for sure.
That is so beautiful to hear. I love that you're thinking of your brother. I mean, there's nothing better than family love. So I love that you want to bring him with you on your journey. That's incredible.
Yeah, I love. I'm also writing a book right now. Well, it's not finished. It's not gonna
Yeah,
be finished for a while.
let's talk about that.
Well, it's like I think each chapter is gonna be about each business I create because I know that I'm gonna create a lot of businesses before one is really successful. It's just how it works. Unless you're a genius, like my dad. Read the book; it's pretty good. But
What's your dad's book again?
private label. Mom, get that book. It's pretty good. But right now, I think each chapter.
Beautiful. Private label millionaire secrets.
Yep. But I think each chapter is going to be about each different like business venture that I have. And
What's the name of your book? Have you come up with a name yet?
The Overnight Success.
Ooh, the overnight success that starts at 11 years old and it takes how long?
Exactly. But yeah, right now I'm starting on the book, or I wrote 2 chapters already, but it's just about like each chapter is about a business venture that I have. And I have no idea where the book's going to go, no idea when I'm going to end it. I'm just going to end it when I feel successful enough. So right now, the first chapter's done, the second chapter's done. And actually, I'm giving away the first chapter right now for free.
You are. How can people get that?
Well, if you go to cashhart.com, just sign up. Just put in your email. I'll send it to you right away. I tested it multiple times. I didn't want to be a failure. But
what is it called? Cash what? I'm going to look it up.
Cashhart.com.
Cashhart, HART.com. Can you check on your side to see if it works?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it's not in Google. You can't do it in Google yet. So try Safari on your phone when people are watching. But I created that ever since you told me about this. I've just been excited. I've been creating it. It looks amazing. I have a video in there that's just
How
it.
long how long do you think it will take you to complete the book? Because you're gonna have a chapter on all these businesses. So are you waiting like a period of time before releasing the full book, and you're just releasing chapters, or how does that work?
Well, I'm actually writing it as the stuff happens. So I have no idea when I'm going to be done. If I create a business in the next year that's successful and there's only one more chapter, then that's the book, you know.
Got it.
I'm just going to do it until I'm successful, and I feel like that's the fun part about it. I don't know when I'm going to be successful, and I can look back, and many others can look back and look at my story, you know, each business venture. And what I like about it is after the chapter's over, I think about what I learned from that business, and I write like a couple paragraphs about what I learned and takeaways that, you know, I've learned doing that. That's what I like about that book.
That's beautiful. Do you do any type of traveling right now?
We used to do a lot, but now we're in this swamp called Mississippi. Never come here, but
Okay.
we don't do much traveling. We're about to go.
I will not come there.
we're about to go to Dominican Republic for spring break, and
Okay.
we're all really excited about that. But we used to do a lot of traveling, but it's just slowed down now because we want to be in a steady high school, you know, same high school until we graduate.
Do you follow any big personalities like such as Tony Robbins and people like that? Do you have any favorites that you maybe watch online, or you try to go to their conferences, anything like that?
Me personally, I gotta think about that for a second, but I'm gonna give you a short answer. Me personally, I don't really like most people like motivational stuff. I don't really find any use for it because it's like
Because you're already
I
motivated.
yeah, I'm already motivated, but I'd rather learn something instead of being motivated. Some people need the motivation, you know, but
Yeah.
I'm already like on it. I don't know why, but I'm always just really motivated to do stuff. I think one person. I think I don't really watch anybody. I read books though. I like Ryan Moran, 12 Months to a Million. That was a great book. I like that.
That's very cool. That's very cool. Yeah, Ryan
Oh, and Russell Brunson. Sorry. That's
Russell because
yeah.
you like funnels and
I'm really reading his second book right now, and it's amazing.
very cool. Well, he has a conference, Funnel Hacking Live. You should probably go to that.
I would love to, honestly.
I believe it's in Orlando. I missed the one last year. But I think you would really take pleasure from just being around other entrepreneurs and just being able to share different ideas. This really had a huge impact into my business and into growing into who I am right now. The networking part of it, because just like your dad said, you want to go to college and create all these contacts for the future. It works the same in the business world. When you attend conferences and you attend meetups on different subjects, even though they might not be on the subject that you are specifically interested in, but being around other people that have different ideas, you will find core common things that you can apply to all the businesses. And if it's one thing that I would recommend is, when you're able to start traveling a little more and go to conferences and different conferences too, they don't have to be all around the same subject. I think that would really like propel you into the next step.
Yeah, I would really love to do that. Like, as soon as I get my driver's license, I'm going to every single one.
That's amazing. And I mean, you should start doing that like soon, because
Yeah.
it's really life changing. So where do you see yourself, let's say, in 10 years from now? So now you're almost 15 here in a few months, and you're 25. What do you do at 25?
25. Well, 25.
And do you feel like that's old?
That's pretty old for me right now. But 25. Jeez. Hopefully, I'm doing something online because I'm itching to do something online right now. Hopefully, I'm doing something big online with my brother, and we're just making a monthly subscription service or something big. I want to start something online like big by that age. And but when I saw you when you reached out and asked me to come on here, I did some research and I went to your Instagram. And then, are you interested in NFTs?
I
You
am.
said?
Are you?
Yeah. Yes. I'm really interested in that stuff. It's just it's really different, and there's a lot of opportunities that are going to be there. But I
One
was
thing that
wondering,
you could probably be doing right now is, start your own collection of Bigfoot NFTs.
yeah. Well, I was just, if you can, inform me about that stuff like for 5 minutes right now. I mean, it would be amazing.
Well, I'll save it for another time.
Yeah,
NFTs, I think they're really spectacular. I think it's the new era that we're going into. It's a new technology, which
definitely.
really, really excites me because there's new opportunities. It's blue ocean literally for everyone around. So really any kind of business that you were able to do physically before, you can probably do that through the NFT. So one example that comes to mind right now, I knew somebody that knows somebody who's an interior designer, right? So you're not
Yeah.
thinking, oh my God, interior designer, like it has to be, a live project, but a lot of the people have transformed their business into, they're taking it into the metaverse. So for this specific person, being an interior designer into the metaverse. So let's say you're buying land into the metaverse, you're buying your house, and then you have this interior designer come in and design stuff into the metaverse, and she's making more money than she's ever made in her life.
That's what I'm really interested in, the metaverse, because that's just everyone listening at home. Yeah, you have to plan stuff in the like keep in mind in the back of your mind when you think of something you want to do. Keep in the back of your mind the metaverse is going to change the world. I guarantee it. It's going to be
I agree.
amazing.
I agree 100%. And I do talk a lot about it every time I meet someone. And, it's not there yet, especially like for people's minds. I think it's just like, oh, I don't really believe in that. And they kind of brush it off. On the other hand, I'm very deeply into it. I would say I spend anywhere between, my slowest days maybe like between 1 hour to sometimes 3 hours, 4 hours, and some days when I have more time. And all I do now is really research because there's not much out there. So when I say research, I mean just follow different people that are into the space, attend different events. So now I'm splitting my time kind of like half time between Amazon and my Amazon business and NFTs, which cuts down my time on like Amazon conferences. But I'm definitely excited, and I can see the future. And actually, I have a new company that I'm launching. It's called NFtomic, and it's going to be all NFTs. And you see, you cannot ask me this question because then I'm going to talk for if you are my guest, I should be asking questions. But just to wrap that up, yeah. So my new company is all NFTs, and it's teaching brands how to create their stores into the metaverse and kind of help them transition from just that physical store to now having a store in the metaverse and acquiring a new clientele and acquiring new data on your consumers. So I
See,
think
I love that. That's just you have to take advantage of it because it's gonna be way bigger than Facebook, bigger than anything we've ever seen. It's just gonna be crazy. It's like a net. It's really what I think it's gonna catch a lot of people is people like the people I was talking about earlier that hate their jobs, don't really like have much that they're really excited about. Like my cousin, he really loves the video games and he's not really pumped or excited about anything.
but video games are huge
Yeah.
into the blockchain space and NFTs. And if for those who love playing video games, and I understand especially in this country is a big culture around
Oh yeah.
video games, but this is the time to actually put in play your gaming experience and just moving into like the metaverse and into a pay play to earn type of situation where people can actually start making money. So
That would be good, yeah.
I do not like video games. I think they're a waste of time. I think there's some to it where it helps you be maybe more focused in some cases, but I don't really buy any of that BS, honestly. I think it's a waste of time. I would rather read books or
Exactly.
be home person, but there's a market for games, absolutely.
That's exactly what I was thinking because people who play video games are going to be obsessed with that because it's a whole new world. It's like your second life. It's going to be crazy. People are going to love it, especially the people that don't like their jobs or like not really excited about anything. They're going to love it because they're going to have a new chance, a new second life where everything's going to be like amazing and they're just going to be like the man. They're going to be like the main character of their own movie. It's going to be awesome.
And there's nothing better. Well, I have to tell you, you're my first guest on the show that shares the same dream as me, which is to become a billionaire. It's definitely a tall order, but I definitely recognize that in you, and I know you will be a billionaire, and we're going to be chilling at the billionaire table here in a few.
I was just gonna say that.
I am very, very excited for that. And I love that you're so passionate about business. And, I have a 6-year-old, and I can only hope that one day he's going to be as excited as you are to continue this entrepreneur legacy that we're both building. So before I let you go, though, tell people how they can reach you. Are you on Instagram? Tell us how they can find your website that you're selling the Bigfoot. Maybe some people are interested in that. How can they reach you?
Oh, well, the website, it's funny because I was trying to do this other business thing, didn't work out, and I spelled bounce back wrong. So it's bouncebach.com. We're using that URL for the Bigfoots.
Very cool. That's very catchy.
Anyway, and my Instagram is cash.hart_business.
Okay. Very cool.
And my YouTube channel, which I'm hopefully going to start a podcast in a couple months or in a month or two. It's called Journey to Freedom.
I love it. Well, I would love to be a guest whenever that happens. And again, thank you, Cash, just so much for your presence. You're so wonderful. I am so proud of you. I know your family is so proud of you, and your dad is a genius, and obviously you are too. I'm sure your whole family is, and couldn't thank you enough for being here on such a short notice. I appreciate you.
All right. This is going to be on YouTube, right?
I will send you everything you need.
All right.
All right. Well, you take care, Cash.
You too. Bye, Bella.
Bye-bye.